Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Today we're going to be talking about the rumors and leaks so far from a few months ago, and even maybe reference some of the leaks and rumors from a while ago. And this video, I'm doing it basically just as a record that a lot of the rumors and the leaks and all that we got from insiders or even people perpetuating to be insiders, have in some cases panned out. In some cases, they've been absolutely off. In some cases, they've been fake. Sometimes maybe Warner Brothers has even done some things like pull back because they didn't feel it was the right time. I mean, if we were to even start from like even the video game awards of December of 2019, there was all this talk that there was going to be something big. The community was, throwing arms up in the air when nothing was revealed. But instead, what we got was the Wolf Among Us 2 or something like that. Remember the insider or leaker called Sabi on Twitter. They had some information, but they were much more accurate, and they kind of came out right before the event and said, we don't think this Batman thing is going to pan out. And a lot of the community seemed to be, kind of much more disappointed than ever. Maybe some people in the community were just numb. But then eventually we started to see some teases, from Warner Brothers Games Montreal. And I think that started to bring things to a different light. It started to make, things show up in a way that we hadn't seen in a long time. If you think about it, some of those teasers came on Twitter. We first had something, I think, around the 80th anniversary of Batman. And those teasers really got some excitement going, and then everything stopped. It was really weird and awkward that everything stopped that way, because everybody was expecting that, this was going to be some really huge deal. This was definitely going to be something that was going to change the gaming landscape, if all these reveals had panned out the way that people wanted them to pan out, if you get what I mean. But, looking back and in retrospect and, thinking about everything, it makes a whole lot of sense to go back and say, the way things didn't pan out were probably for, some reason and some purpose, because a lot of the community, was actually waiting to see this thing come to life and come to fruition. But then we also had some other reveals that started to come out from people like, K-Wing, JC Walsh or Casey Walsh, sorry, over at Twitter. And, I think Comics Kid or something is his Twitter handle. And these, reveals started to pan out a lot more. People were a lot more excited to see exactly, what had been going on. And, they had more credibility, because even at the time that Jason Schreier was talking about this stuff, with Kotaku saying, that there was going to be something that needed to be revealed in E3, it seems like he had some credence to what he was saying. But because of all of the stuff that has gone on basically today, I think right now we can see that people were onto these stories for a while. And, I think this is more of a video saying, sometimes it's nice to give some, grace and give some benefit of the doubt to somebody who comes out saying, I'm an insider and I have some information. Because, sometimes these things that's a troll, sometimes they're genuine, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't take it with a grain of salt at the same time, because even in the midst of valid information, some crappy information was also being shared at the same time. So it's really hard to decipher these things and kind of figure out exactly what is and what isn't good, or what isn't, valid information or valid leaks or rumors or whatever it is. And so that's one of the really cool things. And so now here we are, we're looking at the DC Fandom event very soon, which is going to be, basically in a few hours. I mean, I'm recording this video on Thursday, August the 20th, and, perhaps in about 48 hours, maybe more, the DC Fandom event will be live and people will be able to see something about a Suicide Squad game, something that was teased, even, as early as about a month ago, I think. It was very interesting to see how that was teased in that, in that perspective. And then even Warner Brothers Games Montreal will be sharing something, because for the longest time, there'd been doubts. Everybody around the community was sharing all kinds of different aspects of, hey, there is nothing coming. They're just stringing us along and all that good stuff. And what's even better is, even with all of this, it comes down to say there are still other reveals or leaks or whatever that are still right now pending. And these are reveals and leaks regarding when this game is going to be released. And I think the last time we heard something about the release was K-Wing's channel, where he talked about a potential release by November of this year, which is really close. And that's the one that right now you can't verify until you see what happens in November and the new console reveals and all that stuff. But I think so far, because of the accuracy of the leaks, you can take everything now, instead of with a huge chunk of salt, you can take it with a very small grain of salt, because a lot of these insiders have shown that they're really, serious about their information that they want to give the community. And I think even whoever is letting this information trickle down, because these development firms, I don't think a lot of these leaks are, coincidental. I think there's, many of these people are bound by the secrecy that they have to deal with as developers working in these studios because of corporate mandate. I think what's more important than even those so-called mandates are the fact that they use the secrecy to be able to build up the hype, like, some kind of a pressure, containment system. And when fans are trying to burst at the seams from curiosity and excitement, then they start to release the pressure a little bit by doing these so-called timed and very well calculated, leaks, even to the point where even Warner Brothers Montreal, I don't know if you guys remember, there were talks that some of the pictures that came out of the Damian Wayne game they were working on, the leaks were actually done by them. And so thinking about this, I think they've probably put that in perspective so that gamers will start to prepare themselves that at the onset of this console generation, we're probably going to be getting a video game coming from one of the studios, be it Rocksteady or Warner Brothers Games Montreal. And then even to end this video, there's one more tiny nugget that has basically gone, unmentioned, and that was the basis of the thumbnail. And that is the possibility that a Superman game is being worked on, and I think by Monolith right now. And if you go to Monolith's website, I've been following them for months, and their website has still been under construction, which clues you into the possibility that something is taking place within, these studios. And it will make sense for, developers right now to see what exactly is going on. I mean, is this something that we can look forward to? Is this something that we can we should ignore, or is it something that we should just keep our ears to the ground? I'm of the mind that keeping our ears to the ground is definitely where we need to be, because, if this pans out to be true, I mean, it's super consequential, because there have been a lot of, critics and naysayers and, doubters that have said that a Superman game is not something that can be made in a good way, or it's not something that's going to be destroyed, or something that's going to be ruined, when in reality, the Superman games that we've seen have been Superman games where there was a lot of limited technology. And also we heard rumors and leaks that Warner Brothers had been basically uninterested in putting a Superman game on the table or paying for a Superman game development. Who knows? Maybe this is the time where, because of technological advancement, because of fan and audience, I would say hype and even demand, we might see something of that sort. And Monolith, probably not wanting to work on some Middle-earth game anymore, might take on this DC Universe thing in order to support Warner Brothers' vision right now. Because if you look at all the IPs that are coming out, and them using this DC fandom event to kind of consolidate all the marketing and all the hype, it just makes a lot of sense that there should be one more studio working on something else to be able to kind of, congregate everything. I mean, Wonder Woman, look at all the IPs, look at Black Adam, look at what everybody is talking about right now in the community. It is very interesting to see all of that pretty much just come together and not think that a Superman game will be in the mix of all of this. I mean, even the Justice League game, called Suicide Squad. You see what I did there? Even they had the audacity to use a Superman-esque figure to be able to advertise that. I don't think Warner Brothers is here anymore to be cryptic. I think they want to be very open about what they have going on, and I suspect something coming very soon. But at the same time, you have to be very cautious as to how you take a lot of this information. You don't want to be somebody that gets disappointed because you thought something was true. But at the same time, you don't want to be a naysayer. You want to give the benefit of the doubt, because if you think about it, a lot of these things have eventually panned out. And, this weekend, hopefully, we're going to see what or how valid a lot of these things are. And I'm ready for more surprises, as we speak about these things. I will be happy to see something that I did not know or even hear about was coming in the first place. But anyways, that's pretty much my video. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys a lot. Those of you that have hung in there with the channel, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support the channel in any way, just hit like on the video. It would definitely help. And if you want to, hang out for more content on the Video Game Fight School channel, I'm definitely happy to, have your audience at any time. So that's it for me. Peace.